I made a green ruffle bag and I'm gonna show you how to make one too. It was so rainy this week, so I decided to get cozy and go make something. This is all you're gonna need: some measuring tape, pins, scissors, fabric, and you're ready to go. I started by drawing a bunch of designs and seeing which one I like best. These were all the designs I made. I really liked the heart-shaped one, but I had no idea how I would ever make that, so I chose this one. I took a tote bag I made before as sort of a reference for measurements, and I just adjusted the measurements to my liking. These were my final measurements. Then I took some pattern paper, but you can use cardboard or any kind of paper to draw out your pattern. Just use whatever you have in your home and yeah, you can make it work. So this is the fabric I'm gonna use. It's an old mattress cover and an old curtain, velvet curtain I found at the thrift shop. So pretty. I love the green. Remember to already add the seam allowance in your pattern, so when you cut out the pieces, the seam allowance is already included. I added around 1 centimeter, which is like a ½ inch. So for the ruffle band, I used the bottom part of the curtain because it was already folded over. And yeah, it saved me some time, some work. So I have my ruffle band. And this is everything I cut out. 2 lining pieces, 2 main fabric pieces, the ruffle band, and 2 parts for the straps I'm gonna be making. I have like a little box of different kinds of thread, and I chose the color I thought would suit best. I popped it into the machine and made sure everything was ready for sewing. First up is the ruffle. I pinned it in place in the middle and then also at the side in the middle. So everything is sorted into 4 equal parts. And then I just really took my time, like making the ruffles just by hand and pinning them into place. This is how I went all around. And I really took my time, making sure all the ruffles were nicely in place. And once I did the whole thing, everything pinned into place, it was time to sew it down. So the raw edge of the ruffle band is also on the outer side of the main fabric, if that makes sense. My sewing machine was strong enough, I was excited, was strong enough to go through this thick fabric, but if you're using thick velvet fabric, maybe you have to do it by hand if your machine can't handle it, but yeah, mine was strong enough. I already had a little sneak peek what it was gonna look like, and it was looking so good. Oh my god, I could not believe it. Yes, I was very excited, but I had to put everything, I had to flip it inside again because I needed to add the other part. So good sides facing of the main fabric, pin everything in place, and like this we will have our bag, and it's looking so cute already. Yay! Now it's time to make the straps. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna fold over both sides 1 centimeter or like ½ an inch, and iron it down so it stays put. And once we've done it, we're gonna fold it in half. And this way it hides the raw edges and you don't have to finish the edges. You just sort of hide them. And once everything is ironed down, we can sew it together. And I also sew the other side for aesthetic reasons because I think it looks nice, and this is what it looks like. And then I still wasn't satisfied, so I thought it would be cool to make like double rows. Just really for aesthetic reasons. I like how this looks. Really cool. So it's time to attach the straps to the bag. I measured where I wanted my straps to go and made sure that they were on the same length. And I made sure once I pinned it that the strap wasn't twisted, because this happens to me way too often. Now all we have to do is sew the strap down. So the strap is on the outside of the bag, the good side, and make sure you don't sew the bag together. So all I did is sew a straight stitch, do a back stitch at the beginning, and I also back stitched all the way to the end again. And the straps are nicely attached. So now it's time for the lining. Oh yeah, I decided to do some interfacing to make it a bit more sturdy, but looking back, it didn't really make any difference, so you don't really have to do it. And we're just gonna put the good sides facing and pin it down. Be smart and leave a hole. I sewed the whole thing round, but you have to leave a hole for later to turn it inside out, and I forgot. So as you can see, I sort of cut into the fabric all around, so once you put it inside out, it won't look bulky, but yeah. So we're just gonna put the bag inside the lining. The good sides are facing, so the good side of the main bag and the good side of the lining. And I'm just making sure that the side seams are lined up on both sides. And then I'm just making my way across, pinning everything into place, making sure the straps are nicely in place, putting some extra pins. And now all I had to do was sew all around. Yep, and this was the part where I realized I should have left a hole in the lining, because now I was thinking very hard. I was unable to turn it inside out, so I had to use this very handy tool to rip open the seam so I could turn it inside out. Yes, here we go. We have a hole. We're turning the bag inside out. And she is looking pretty fine. To make sure the lining stays into place, I once more sewed all around, being very careful, going very easy, making my way along the ruffles. And it will look like this, very pretty. And the only thing that's left to do is finish up the whole of the lining. You can do it by hand or do it on your machine, and the bag is finished. So for the final result, I am so happy with how this bag turned out. It's a big, bulky ruffle bag with like big straps. I can even wear it like this, like put it over my head, and when I'm on my bike, I can just easily take it along. So many stuff fits in this bag. when I go to the park and read a book, I can take all my stuff with me. I'm so happy, I'm so excited. I draw this bag and it turned out so cute. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you make your own big ruffle bag. See you soon. Bye!